McKee, it looks like. It looks like McKee with the tech fall over Cade Brock.
And they're in a challenge on that right now. Zacherl will be in the red singlet, Mccrystal in the blue.
Again, 60-kilo semi. Both guys 1 win on the day.
At 60 kilos, semifinalists on mat 2.
And we are ready to roll.
Zacherl, Clarion Wrestling Club, Colton Mccrystal, Northwest Regional Training Center.
Outside attempt there from Zacherl. Overhook for Mccrystal. He pressures in, overhook, elbow control.
And we had that overhook inside reap to the big throw for Mccrystal.
At the end of his first match against Anthony Giraldo.
And Zacherl, he's a guy, he wants to be down in the legs. He wants to be attacking, coming with a double leg transition off to almost a spear single.
And he appears caught in this underhook. He doesn't look comfortable trying to get his arm out. And Mccrystal tried to go with a big toss there, step around behind. Looks like he has the overhook locked into his collar tie. The official going to stop that. Consider it blocking with that collar tie stuck in there on the collarbone of Zacherl. So we get a fresh start. Zacherl outside single leg, and Mccrystal doing a good job of catching it. He's catching it with his overhook and sucking it right up.
And we talked about that same scenario where we saw a high crotch and you can't pull the guy up there. Zacherl does shoot that spear single, and that's going to be Mccrystal pulling him up on that hip into his advantage situation.
Yeah, now Zacherl tries to throw the hook by, but unable to get it going. So halfway through the first, I don't believe we have any passivity calls. But now Zacherl in on the single leg. Close to the edge. He's driving him to the edge. Going to look for the push out here. Now he's around behind. Nice takedown there for Brock Zacherl. You see a lot of guys actually go to that where they reach over the top, lock across the chest, and bring it back across the opposite side. Seems to be really effective. Speaking in terms of the international level.
And I think I'm going to relate this bout to our 50-kilogram semifinal with Moody and Courtney. I think Zacherl's going to be a guy chipping away, looking for those 2-point takedowns, and Mccrystal's going to be looking for the big hit.
I think you're right. And Mccrystal, we saw it in his first match, went up 6-0 early because he got the takedown, transitioned right into a couple trap arms, and then it was 6-0 essentially until he hit that big move at the end of the match. Now takedown here for Mccrystal, ties things up 2 apiece.
Elmer out to a 4-0 lead in the first minute of mat 3.
So we've got a real tight one here. I mean, Mccrystal really wants to keep things upper body. Oh, Zacherl in immediately on the double leg.
Looking for 4, didn't get it. Courtney, Mccrystal did a good job getting that foot back to the mat that kept him from exposing and go 4 big points for Zacherl. Right back to that head inside single again.
But now Mccrystal trying to counter, get a takedown of his own. His time is going to expire here in the first.
White paddled.
White paddled, no points on the board, and things starting to pick up here at the end of the first period. Zacherl, it looks like he's found something he likes. He's getting to that open shot. And Mccrystal, it's a matter of, like you said before, can he capitalize on the counter offense and get a big 4?
And I think we're going to continue to see the same thing out of both guys. That spear straight on single from Zacherl, and Mccrystal's going to look to pull that arm up into his overhook and a big hit.
Remember, Mccrystal scored off the double unders, if I'm not mistaken. So he definitely wants to stay in the upper body ties. That's what we're picking up from him. But Zacherl, good motion coming out early. Low level attempt from Mccrystal. Zacherl counters. He's got an underhook now.
He wants out of there though.
Yeah, he's obviously not comfortable with that left-handed underhook. And you see Mccrystal reaching around the back.
Step out, 1 point, elbow.
Again, outside attempt from Zacherl. Underhook now from Mccrystal. Scored here earlier. Tries to throw it by to that single leg. Zacherl, good job circling out of the hook.
And now we're out where he can get that juke step going, motion. He doesn't get to his single leg very well from that tie, so he wants that little stutter step, and then he really gets guys off rhythm.
Yeah, it's whenever Mccrystal reaches, too, because he's keeping that arm low on the single leg, preventing Zacherl from coming in. But the second he reaches for that collar tie, boom, Zacherl's in. And again, Zacherl shoots, single leg left side, gets caught in that underhook. And he's swimming that right arm into the collar tie, trying to post. He doesn't like this position here. You can see he's really backing up out of this position. Zacherl gonna get out of it. Still, anybody's match as we're approaching the last minute. A takedown would give Mccrystal the win by criteria if it stayed 4-4. So if you're Zacherl, got to be wary of that. Also, you don't want to shut down.
It's almost looked like Zacherl has transitioned to defense here. As I say that, he looked like he was coming in on that leg attack. You know, there's got to be a point in the match where you transition from, okay, I'm going to try to preserve this lead. I think it's way too early for Zacherl to be there already.
Absolutely, especially when you're going to get fleeing, and it's going to be a caution in 2. So you can't have that scenario where you give up the caution in 2 and end up losing because of your caution or last point scored. But they're working on Mccrystal's nose here. It looks like he's got a cut right across his nose. They're going to tape that up. We'll get back to it for the last 54 seconds. Spot in the Challenge Tournament Finals on the line, which will be coming right up.
Right around Mitchell McKee, impressive winner over Brock. That's a repeat of a semifinal win in Fargo last year.
And now Zacherl in on the shot, immediately elevating the single leg, double overs. Zacherl to the back. Brock Zacherl, just what the doctor ordered. 8-2 now over Colton Mccrystal. And he's got a trap arm as well.
And that was the situation earlier when Zacherl gets that single leg up. Mccrystal was able to catch his foot and keep from exposing. He swept the feet out from underneath him this time, straight to the back, 4 points.
In and out from Zacherl. Mccrystal pressuring forward.
I'm going to go ahead and start to agree with Zacherl's defensive mode at this point of the match.
At this point in the match, I think we're good to go on the defense mode. So Zacherl, he's just circling out of the ties, circling away from it smartly. It's 8-2 on the board, and it appears that's going to be our final score. And it's going to be Brock Zacherl taking on Mitchell McKee. White paddle there in that last takedown. But Mitchell McKee, Brock Zacherl for a spot in the finals. Best of 3 later on today.
And Gary Wayne Harding sitting in that best of 3 series. But that little asterisk, Joey McKenna, world medalist last year, has the opportunity to challenge the winner here for the Junior World Team.